Well, thank you for that introduction. And I have some plans that I would like to invite people to after. So y'all have a few options for a great night in the city. Um, well, first I'll begin by telling you about Global Zero. We're the international movement for the elimination of nuclear weapons by 2030. Yes, 2030, or maybe sooner. We was established in 2008, and we have the support of over 300 world leaders, including Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Sir Richard Branson from the UK, Her Majesty Queen Noor of Jordan, former Ambassador of Hungary Tibor Tott, who is the Executive Secretary of the Preparatory Commission for the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization, ex-military leaders from around the world, and over 500,000 citizens supporters. There are currently over 15,000 nuclear weapons in 9 states: US, Russia, UK, France, Pakistan, India, China, North Korea, and Israel. There are more nuclear weapons than there are panda bears in the world. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said, "Our aim must be more than keeping the deadliest of weapons from falling into the wrong hands. There are no right hands for nuclear weapons." President JFK said, "Today, every inhabitant of this planet must contemplate the day when this planet may no longer be habitable. Every man, woman, and child lives under a nuclear sword of Damocles, hanging by the slendest of threads, capable of being cut at any moment by accident, or miscalculation, or by madness. The weapons of war must be abolished before they abolish us. There is more risk of a nuclear accident occurring than an actual intentional nuclear conflict. And just in the US alone, there's 11 documented cases of nuclear weapons being stolen or lost, a term referred to as broken arrows. Additionally, there are over 15,000 nuclear weapons around the world on ready-to-launch hair trigger status. All is required is a few electrical signals to set them off. And in this new age of terrorism, having nuclear weapons on ready-to-launch status is a dangerous military posture for all nations. That is why Global Zero delivered our Commission on Nuclear Risk Reduction to the United Nations this year at the Non-Proliferation Treaty Conference. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna play 20 questions. So just in response to this question, just clap if you agree with the question. Who believes in a Middle East nuclear weapons-free East? Weapons-free zone. Okay, yes, real quick, I start over again. Okay. Clap if you believe in a Middle East nuclear weapons-free zone. What about if you want to see the elimination of nuclear weapons by 2030? And who awaits the day all swords will be turned to plowshares? About, would you participate in an international nuclear weapons ban conference? And who believes that nuclear weapons should have been included in the Sustainable Development Goals? Who believes the elimination of nuclear weapons would be one of the greatest achievements of peace and justice? Who supports a proposal to remove nuclear weapons off of ready-to-launch status? Who supports the Iran deal? Okay, for these next 10 questions, I just want you to just raise your hand and y'all could just look around the room and see who supports. Anyone participated in any of the Non-Proliferation Treaty conferences? Who knows that September 26th is the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons? Who has heard of Stanislav Petrov? Who has visited South Korea? Oh, wonderful. Anyone here from North Korea? Who has visited Egypt? Anyone here from Egypt? Who has visited Israel? Anyone here from Israel? Who knows about the Marshall Islands nuclear zero case in the International Court of Justice? And who believes nuclear weapons are aimed at this very city? Who believes Who believes another nation will acquire nuclear weapons? I'm closing my eyes.
Sorry.
Well, this year, we're not only celebrating the 7th anniversary of the United Nations, but also the bombing of the Japan cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on August 6th and the 9th in 1945. And there's been a great myth that the nuclear bomb ended World War II. That's just a myth. It's not true. Many myths have shaped the national security policies around the world and public opinion. The truth is that because Russia joined the war, that's why they bowed out, and it gave them an honorable way to disengage from the war. In a pivotal statement at the humanitarian impacts of nuclear weapons in December 2014, Archbishop Silvano M. Tomosi, the Vatican's UN ambassador in Geneva, said the reliance on a strategy of nuclear deterrence has created a less secure world and called for all countries to review deterrence as a stable basis for peace. At the 59th meeting of the International Atomic Energy Agency conference last week, the Vatican said that nuclear deterrence can hardly be the basis for peaceful coexistence among peoples and states in the 21st century. Another myth is that nuclear weapons is good for deterrence. It might have worked. It hasn't stopped war in the last 70 years, and South America is a perfect example of that. No nations in South America has been at war with each other, and none of these countries have nuclear weapons. The statement issued by Vatican Secretary for Relations with States, Archbishop Paul Gallagher, also called for real efforts towards facilitating the entry into force of the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty and endorsed the July 14th nuclear deal between Iran and 6 world powers, saying it ensures the peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program. The JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, many of you may have heard of, is a great achievement for the nonproliferation movement and elimination of nuclear weapons. We all should thank Iran, Russia, China, Germany, France, UK, and the US for persevering through the years to achieve this deal. This is possibly the greatest achievement of cultural diplomacy so far this millennium. Cultural diplomacy is essential to the elimination of nuclear weapons. And real quick, I'll just give you Global Zero's 4-phase action plan. Phase 1, after the ratifying of New START Treaty, the United States and Russia agreed to reduce their nuclear warhead stockpiles to 1,000 weapons each by 2018. Phase 2, through a multilateral framework, the United States and Russia will reduce their nuclear arsenal to 500 total warheads each by 2021. Phase 3, the world's nuclear-capable countries negotiate and sign a Global Zero Accord, a legally binding international agreement for the phased, verified, proportionate reduction of all nuclear arsenals to zero towards total warheads by 2030. And then Phase 4, the phased, verified, proportionate dismantlement of all nuclear arsenals to zero total warheads is completed by 2030, and a comprehensive verification and enforcement system prohibiting the development and possession of nuclear weapons is in place to ensure that the world is never again threatened by nuclear weapons. So 2030 is a big year, and of all of the goals that y'all claim to believe in for sustainable development, we want to have nuclear weapons one amongst those celebrations. Museums are more powerful than missiles. As I mentioned, cultural diplomacy is essential to the elimination of nuclear weapons. Instead of going mad, mutually assured destruction, we should have a map, mutually assured peace. I believe in swords into plowshares. The world doesn't need more swords. The United Nations has established September 26th, this Saturday, the anniversary of Stanislav Petrov incident, as the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. Around the world, there will be film screenings of The Man Who Saved the World, the story of how former Russian Lieutenant Colonel Stan saved the world on September 26, 1983. Tonight, yes, tonight, I'll be participating in a question and answer discussion with the executive producer at the 7:15 screening at Cinema Village. and that's at 22 East 12th Street. Thank you.